All right, looks like we're coming in close on SBFM. Called this in the chat earlier, at 9:32 a.m. Just basically been waiting for it to get down to the 21 and 28 EMA area. I'm gonna mark off the pre-market high because that's usually a pretty valid level just to see reactions, but needed to come down to this basically 8.8 to 9.4 area. Let me drag this over a little bit. Oh, it was 10 on the dot. All right, we got that marked, and we wait as we have been doing. Was waiting for BRSH to get down to the 21 and 28 EMA, but they just dipped it right to the high of this candle right here under middle view up and going right back toward the high. And I have to zoom this in so we can see it. The blue arrow is slightly in the way. The middle view op is above the 21 and 28 EMA. So they may push it down into the like 7.987 area. But again, as always, I'm just looking for, once it starts touching these two moving averages, I'm just going to be looking for large bids. And the price is under 20 cents. Like the price of the stock is under 20 cents. So definitely going to be wanting to see like mid three figures to 4-digit orders on the bid for sure, if I'm going to consider getting in. It's still not low enough yet though. And INKW, the 21 EMA is getting close for entry execution. PSYC is basically at area of interest for getting in. But like I said, the volume today is 32 million, so I won't consider buying more than 320,000 shares on that. And then what else we have? We have CYDY, waiting for that to dip down to the 21 and 28 EMA. And this one's pulling back now, so we may get that entry here in probably next 1 to 3 days. That's pretty much it for now. Everything else is we're waiting for something new to show up. Maybe we'll get a harsh dip here on BRSH. Harsh dip down to the 21 and 28 EMA. Or not. Looks like they were just wicking off the middle VWAP. I like PEGY here, especially because there's no FI arrows for this entire last 50-day chart. And it's very close to cross the FI. It's very close to crossing the zero line here. Normally would enter as this crossing, but prefer a pullback into this area. So I just dropped the considerable entry inside of the chat, which will basically just be really want to catch it anywhere in this area. It's already retested the pre-market high though. So they may not pull it back. They may not pull it back that deep, but as these move up, I'll still be looking to catch my entry there. Um, Especially because this is about to cross up. This will likely cross up today. And this is pulling back into the area of interest. SBFM is just using the pre-market high as support. BRSH is getting a lot closer. Just gonna be watching the level 2 on the bid to see. And this one's even under 10 cents, so definitely gonna need to see some large orders. Like this is only 10,000 shares. That's definitely not enough, even though it is 3 digits, because the price of this stock is under 10 cents. I need to see like 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 in this box right here, this bid size box or bid size column here. Yep, got the FI arrow now on PEGY. So catch it on a pullback. Really a pullback, any pullback underneath the middle VWAP to the 28 will be a nice pullback. If the 83 EMA can cross above the 520 EMA, then it will have a high probability of pulling back, probably all the way down to the 83, which would give that entry on the 21 and 28. As long as it can cross up. The 83 is the turquoise one, and the 520 EMA is the dark green. They're really close to crossing up, so if they can cross up, it'll likely pull back into this area briefly and then continue for a push. And I know I put in the chat 5 to 10% gain plus. This move is mainly based off the daily chart, so it'll likely be 10 to 20% gain plus. They didn't even let this dip down to the 21. Looks like the closest dip they were gonna give us was right here, but I prefer to actually touch the 21 and 28 EMA. What did not happen. This right here is a great example of what I'm looking for I and KW to do. The 21 EMA to cross above the 83 and just have a extremely volatile pump like this. We're getting close. Difference between those two though, is this in the OTC and OCEAW is a warrant. which is basically a listed stock. These are normally more volatile than OTCs, but their volume is usually lower. So you can't, I mean, you can if you want to take the risk, but you normally can't get as many shares into the stock as you would like, just because the volume is so low. Like this volume bar is massive, but it's only 497,000 shares versus like SBFM, which is this stock over here. You can see how large this volume bar is. It's 381 million shares. So that's just the difference between warrant stocks, listed warrant stocks, and OTCs. But yeah, this is a really clean move. These type of moves will significantly grow your account. Like the 21 EMA crossed up. Let's see. 21 EMA crossed up. Let me go back. It crossed up on the next day. So the 21 EMA crossed up on this day. 422,000 shares. So let's say you put, here's my calculator. Let's just say you got in at, let's just say you got in late at 16 cents. Yeah, $1,000 divided by 16 cents your entry. You'll be buying 6,250 shares. And then it went all the way to 50. Well, today it's at 50. So if you times that by 50 cents plus 1,000, your new account balance would be at 4,125. So $1,000 in this day, out this day, basically be 312% gain. Just to make sure that it's 312% or 212%. So your account actually would have been that 3,125. Yeah, 212% gain. So this would have been the new account balance. It would have been the original $1,000 investment plus the $2,125 profit in 2 days. But yeah, that's essentially what we're looking for INKW to do. Not as far as price, but percentage gain. Let's see if this almost dipped down. I did say anywhere under middle VWAP. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't get in. But this is about to cross up. So once this turquoise, the 83 EMA crosses above this green 520 EMA, once it crosses up and it closes crossed up, price will likely wick down into this area. So I'm gonna let the recording ride until 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm still, of course, I'm still gonna be looking for the dip, but if none of these dip down to the 21 and 28 EMA before, because end of day selling, it's either gonna be end of day pumping or end of day selling with it pushing straight up like this. So I'll just post in the chat. It most likely be if these don't dip down to the 21 and 28 EMA before 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm not going to consider entering because that 2 to 4 p.m. window is either going to keep pumping up or everybody's going to start taking their profit. And either way, the entry will likely get invalidated because, um, and I've said that in the chat. And if that hasn't made sense, I know I went over it, I think like 2 live videos ago. But I'll look for something real quick to see. All right, right here. I mean, this was a very nice play right here. But as far as entry being invalidated, we're just gonna pretend that. Let me make sure my mic. Yeah, okay. Mic is good. We're just gonna pretend that this was the volatility. Like just pretend this light gray area is black and this is all during normal market hours. Got the volatility, got a dip down. And let's just ignore this dip down. Let's say this dip down was right here and it just straight closed underneath the 28 EMA, which is this white line. That is what I mean. When I type in the chat by entry invalidated, it's because when it's time for the dip, price just closed right underneath the 28 EMA. And so I wouldn't enter. But now if when this, well, I don't enter in the first 5-minute candles. We all know that. But let's just say this was not the first 5-minute candle of the day. Then let's just say it did dip down and it was holding, but there very likely wasn't large bid orders, which is why it just went straight through it. And then as you can see right here, this clearly had large bid orders, which is why it perfectly rejected off and pushed up. But yeah, when I type in the chat, entry was invalidated, it just means that the candle came down. There is no large bid orders for the dip, and then it just closed right under it. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get the dip. We're getting left behind. Let's check on BRSH. We may get that dip. Um, what stock did I say that on? Because then I'll give you a clearer reference. I believe that was yesterday. Yeah, BSFC. And then let's go to yesterday. So in pre-market, we got the volatility. It dipped down to the 21.28. Very likely had large bid orders, which is why it just supported and then pushed up. And then if we go to market open, again, I don't enter the first 5-minute candle. And then right here, you can see it actually did. If you zoom in, you can see right here, this candle actually did reject off of the 28, but there was no large bid orders when this dip happened, which is why this candle right here, which I said in the chat, invalidated the potential entry. So it looks good right here. If you weren't looking at the level 2, you wouldn't have saw that there was no large bid orders to support it. And so you may have just entered, but then as soon as this candle closed, you should have either cut the loss, the entire loss, or 50% of the loss, but then cut 100% as it closed underneath here. And which is why I always say one of the possibilities is after you enter, if it closes under this white EMA, which is the 21 EMA, if it closes under that, that's the first sign that you're wrong. Closing under here is you definitely need to get out and reevaluate the position. And as you can see, it did come back up, so you could have got out in profit, but then you could see it's back down. So If you decide to be stubborn and hold through this and got out in profit, great. That's going to create a bad habit. Well, I'm not going to say bad. It's going to create a undisciplined habit. But then if you we're going to try to hold it all the way back up here, you can see that that's not how that played out. And that's just the simple fact of closing underneath the 2028 EMA. First sign you're wrong, definitely need to get out for me personally and through my experience of investing and just using these indicators to enhance my position evaluation. And yeah, we got 4 minutes until 11 a.m. Eastern. So, I mean, this one dipped kind of close, but didn't get it. And it's if it breaks this high, 786. Oh, it already broke it. Yeah. If it can close over this high, the next candle at 11 will probably just keep pushing. And then it'll be at 8. And then it'll probably just blow right through this. This looks like it's gonna break this high. And this one is getting closer. And again, the 83 EMA is now crossed above the 520. It's probably hard to see, but if when I highlight it, the turquoise one is now fully crossed above this green one. And so it very likely soon will have some type of quick dip down into this area, wick off, and then we'll catch our profit there. And then, yeah, I'll let this ride for the last 3 minutes. Once it hits 11 a.m., I'm still going to be watching from my phone, and just enjoying my day. I'm really sitting on here past 11 a.m. But yeah, I'll likely give these three stocks until like 1 p.m. Eastern to dip and bounce. If not, I'll just post in the chat. A very, very bullish price action for the buyers to not even let it dip down to the 21 and 28 EMA. This one is extremely bullish. They didn't even let it touch the middle VWAP. All right, it's 11 a.m. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna break that high. Still be watching these plays for entries and the other ones that I posted in the chat. I'll get this recording dropped and uploaded to the group, and I'll catch you all in the chat and tomorrow.